Hey there, welcome to another video of math problem solving. This is calendar math. So, what is calendar math? It's the math involved in figuring out patterns within a calendar. So, the problem for today is the first of the year is a Friday. How many Fridays exist in this year? And just with all my videos, it's not just the answer I'm looking for, it's the methodology, it's the process of how you arrive at the answer. Pause the video here, take your time, get a paper and a pen, and try to work it out and see if you can get the answer. Even if you don't, it's so important to go through the process of productive struggle so that you can appreciate the solution even better. All right, let's get into solving this problem. The first question that you should have is this a leap year or is this a regular year? Because I just have the calendar for Jan, not for Feb. So I have no idea if it's a leap year or not. But more importantly, does it matter if it's a leap year or not? Will the answer change? Now, many students of mine typically stop here thinking that the question is incomplete. Oh, you've not supplied a vital information whether it's leap year or not. In such cases, whenever you encounter a problem where there's two possibilities or multiple possibilities and the question doesn't talk about these possibilities, instead of just giving up and saying, oh, it's incomplete, assume that it's one of the cases first and assume that it's the other case next. So that's exactly what we'll do. So let's assume that it's not a leap year. Okay, it's not a leap year. So this is not a leap year. In which case, you're going to have 365 days in the year. Now, let's define a week that starts with Friday and ends with Thursday. That's exactly 7 days. Which means the modular arithmetic here would be that after 14 days, it would be 2 weeks. After 21 days, it would be 3 weeks. After 28 days, it would be 4 weeks. So how many weeks can I fit into 365 days? So I know it has to be a multiple of 7. So for example, 7 times 50 gives me 350 weeks. I think I can add 7 more. That will be 51 weeks. I can add 7 more to that and I would end up getting 364 days. So 364 days would end exactly on a Thursday, which means I would still end up having 1 day to fit in. So the last day of the year has to be a Friday. If it's not a leap year. Okay. And 30th, which would be the day before the last year, the 30th of December would be a Thursday. And therefore, 31st would be a Friday. Now, since we accounted for 52 weeks, there should be 52 times 1. That's the number of Fridays you would see until the 30th of December. But since 31st is also a Friday, the answer to this question is 53 Fridays. Now let's take the other case. What if it were a leap year? If it were a leap year, you would have 366 days, which would still have 52 weeks. But you would be left with a remainder of 2 days. So in this case, let's think of it as Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We know that the 29th of December in this case would be a Thursday, 30th would be the Friday, and 31st would be the Saturday. So even in this case, you would still have 52 weeks without the remainder. And since 30th is a Friday, you would still end up adding 1. Making it 53. So in essence, in this problem, it doesn't matter whether it's a leap year or not. The answer would still remain the same. So if you were one of those people who stopped answering this question for the lack of information, the lack of information was intentional to actually go forward and forge your way to find the answer and basically prove that it's immaterial whether it's a leap year or not, because the answer would still be 53. The day that the last Friday would be different in case of leap year or not. That's the difference, right? So in a leap year, the last Friday would be the 31st of December in a year that's not a leap year. And in a leap year, the last Friday would be the 30th of December. So the dates which fall on a Friday would change, but the number of Fridays doesn't. And remember my definition of intelligence, knowing the difference between similarities and similarities between differences. So the difference between a leap year and a non-leap year is that the last Friday differs. The dates on which the Fridays fall would differ, but the number of Fridays doesn't. If you can make this distinction and solve the problem, that indicates that you have been able to apply your intelligence way better than somebody who gives up by just reading the problem and saying, something is amiss. So this is something that is tested often in Olympiad in mathematical problems, where it seems like information is missing, but actually it's not, because there's a fine difference that only a few intelligent kids figure out. So I hope you're one of them, or you're on your way to become one of them by watching these videos. And if you do like it, please do share, like, and subscribe. I thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.